Hello everybody, welcome to Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday nights 9 o'clock. Nice to have you back here. It's been a little bit quiet over the weekend, considering of course it was a long weekend. Ramadan is finished, and of course blessed Eid to all of our Muslim rugby players who are back in the mix. Of course the varsities are also back in full swing, and all the action is back on the park, so to speak. My usual panel with me this evening, Morgan Newman.
How's it, Japs? How are you going?
I'm pretty good, how are you?
I'm good, can't complain. Had a good Women's Day and a good long weekend, so yeah, back full swing and looking forward to the week.
Danny Jones, nice to have you, Meneer.
Good evening, JP. It's good to be here.
You enjoying yourself at the moment?
I am, thank you. It's always good being here, JP. You know, there's a lot happening on the rugby front.
Yeah.
The union is quite happy to also use this platform to engage its listeners and its viewers and its club rugby players. So thank you for that opportunity.
Excellent, excellent. As always, nice to have you here. You know, we get the sort of the inside track on what's happening in the world of rugby. So
Definitely,
we're very happy, yeah.
definitely.
And no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, the godfather of club rugby, Mr. H. Uchamio.
Baie goed, JP. It's always nice, you know, when you enter the pale vlak. Weet jy wat is 'n pale vlak?
Iemand wat baie wit is?
Nee, hy's 'n pale face.
'n Pale face?
Ja.
Ja, maar dis mos iemand wat baie wit is.
And when you enter the last part of a race.
Yeah.
In my days when I was an athlete, I loved that part.
When you were an athlete.
Yeah.
But I believe you're still a bit of an athlete.
Yeah, well, not really.
Depending on how many Alsatians are chasing you, of course.
But yeah, you know, now is the time when you either overtake somebody,
Yeah.
or you fall as you try to get to the end.
All right.
And that's part of the rugby now.
All right, I think you've been watching Usain Bolt a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
love him, mate.
we're going to move away from the. Oh, no, wasn't he fantastic? Danny, did you have a chance to watch Usain Bolt break that world championship, take that title?
Awesome. The way he ran in the rain, amazing. I think it was 9.75 or something like that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think he's the best athlete at this particular point in time.
Yeah, no doubt. What an athlete. I mean, he just waited the whole time, and he just. Anyway, let's not get stuck in athletics as much as we would definitely like to have that. We got to see it again. Danny, do it again for us. Right. Hey. I love that. All right, listen. We don't have too many results, but the results that there are, let's start taking a look at them, because I think that now we're heading into the sort of the closing side of the log, and what we're clearly going to see is people making soos Mr. H said, only pale vlak off, a challenge for the Community Cup. Of course, Varsity Cup's coming up, so the teams underneath that are going to be looking to see who's going to get that wild card, and then the rest are probably looking to see who's going to win the league. So, yeah, some interesting dimensions there. But let's start off with Premier League A, which were the main games over the weekend. Peniel Villages, 34-24 over Macassar, and then Van der Stel going down to Franschhoek, 36 points to 26. Mr. H, Van der Stel, they're out in the Stellenbosch neck of the woods, but they sort of struggle to find their momentum, but nevertheless keep on with the effort.
Yeah, there was a time when they used, you know, the Marty students that didn't make it. But now playing down at the lower end of, you know, of the pyramid, they don't really attract.
But would you say that this is kind of an indication of what the town of Stellenbosch is? That they are a one-horse student town? I mean, why would a town like Stellenbosch have such a strong rugby outfit, being, you know, Paul Roos is there, not to mention that in the outskirts there's probably people who live in Stellenbosch but maybe went to school in Paarl at Boys High and German, you know, traditionally very strong. The Stellenbosch should have extremely strong team no matter where they play, but yet Van der Stel doesn't come even close to the kind of Marties.
Well, no, the Stellenbosch Coronations, no, the
Cluttersville. Yeah.
Those guys, you know, they were up there at one stage.
But are we saying that that the people who play rugby in Stellenbosch are only students?
Well, that was my question a few years ago, you know, when they were talking about amalgamating all those clubs there. See, but this is a big town. Why can't you get rugby players? There must be spillovers from somewhere, but it doesn't seem to be like it.
And it's not through lack of effort. I mean,
No, I mean, they've got great facilities, all three of those other clubs.
Two other clubs have played over the weekend, of course, Peniel Villages against Macassar, 34-24 against Macassar. And Danny, we were at the General Council meeting on Monday, and Mr. Wakefield gave Macassar and Elsie Shafir a word of congratulations, and then they ended up getting a standing ovation, those two clubs, Macassar and Elsie Shafir, for putting on such a great performance at that day.
That's right, JP. You know, I think last week you went to Elsie's River and they played Macassar. And I accompanied the president to those games, and I must say the great welcome that we received from Elsie's River, the great hospitality after the game, as well as the beautiful entertaining rugby. I mean, Elsie's River was leading 25-7, they lost 28-5, but what an advert for Western Province rugby. And of course Macassar, coming all the way from down south there, played quite well, and it shows that, you know, if you keep on training, keep on wanting to perform, you can improve and you can win a game.
Yeah, but Penil Villages against Macassar, then I mean, it's nice to be playing against a team like Macassar where you know you're going to have a good, hard, clean game. It's not going to turn into fail-gat rugby.
No. JP, we are from Western Province side, we're working hard with our Respect campaign to get the game to be clean, fair and good sportsmanship. Yeah. So we're happy to see games like this, and that's why we want to speak about those good games, hard fought and well played. And
Macassar, okay, they lost to Penil Villages, but when we watch them against Elsie's, they beat Elsie's totally on merit. It was a clean game, it was a hard game, and they beat them on merit. They must be disappointed to lose against Penil Villages, who hasn't had the greatest of seasons.
Yeah, Penil Villages had an up and down season. They lost quite a number of games. I don't know. I heard I don't know if they fired the coach, but he's a close friend of mine, Mark.
Mark Wilson.
I think, yeah,
Mark Wilson, of course, has moved on.
I think Mark rather left the club. But somehow I think they have one good week, and the next week, you know, they're inconsistent. But at least to beat Macassar says a lot, that there's a number of things going for the club.
And it's about time, because I know that, I mean, I can't say that Mark Wilson has had the easiest of rides at Penil Villages. The field has been in bad shape. The lights, I think, at one stage crashed onto the field. The trees have been blowing over, and it looks like they've now finally settled that, and maybe the team themselves can settle into their natural stride of rugby.
No, I think Mark is a very good coach, and I think he laid the foundation. It was just unfortunate in losing one or two games, you know, in the last few minutes. But I think the work that he has put in and the club has put in is starting to pay off.
Yeah, no. So yeah, no. I think that Mark Wilson. I mean, I know that he's now left Penil Villages, but he gives back quite a lot back to the rugby, because at the stage we've seen him involved with the Sports Trust, coaching the little kids and stuff.
Yeah. The Let's Play program.
The Let's Play.
You were all over.
Yeah. Other teams there in Division 3, if we look at the results there, well, Temperance going down to retreat, 24 points to 16. Young Brothers are losing to Police, 15 points to 10. And Progress, well, they went down to Bishop Lavis by just 3 points, 34 points to 31. I would say the interesting thing, the result there is Retreat against Temperance. Morgs, Retreat would be happy with that result, considering that we're going to Retreat next week.
Yeah, I understand. They're celebrating the 150th anniversary, so yeah, lots happening at Retreat. Yeah, they've got a massive day prepared there in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, it's going to be good to go down there, and if they can build on this result, then you never know, you know, pick up 2 or 3 results and also start moving up the table pretty quickly.
A lot of action, you say?
Yeah, they're talking about 3 teams. There's a women's team that's playing, and there's the sort of youngsters that are playing in the morning, all build up to the main game, which is taking place at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So if anybody's looking for some action, that in 2 weeks' time, that's definitely the place to be.
Talking about people that are looking for action, Mr. H, if we look at a day like that, is that how you celebrate 150 years of rugby? Did you say 150 years?
115.
15.
Or 115. I was about to say, hang on. Here's a club that's older than Dave Kagan will be out here.
Older than Amis.
That's true.
I might say so Felix is what blitzy. But that's what you do when it's a. I mean, we saw Alfred Makwena and Makawana and at Busy Bees do it the other day, celebrating 90 years. But 115 years of rugby retreat, this is how you celebrate it. You pull out all the stops, you get the TV show there.
And they know how to celebrate, you know. The centenary was a great occasion, and the 80th, the 90th, the centenary, and so on. So yeah, they know how to do it.
Unlike their name, JP, at least they're going older and older, not going backwards.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yes, but folks, start preparing yourself for a day of action, as Morg said. Retreat next week. We'll be going out there. I know Keegan Bayers has been working extremely hard and has been going to a lot of the media seminars that we've been doing. And he's been working extremely hard at making sure that that retreat gets as much support as possible and as many players. At the beginning of the season, they were really struggling to recruit players. And they made quite an effort to get Western Province involved there. Danny, I think you might even have taken some of the professional players out there.
No, we did. And we also sent Jerome out a few nights to go and assist.
Yes.
The coaches with scrumming techniques, back forward play and all those things. So at least it's the one club that has looked at their weaknesses and worked at it. And I think it's again showing that if you work hard, you can succeed. I'm just a bit worried about Temperance. Temperance is a big club, also 100 and plus years old. They have good infrastructure, but it seems to me that they are retreating now.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, there is only one solution for Temperance, Perseverance, Progress and Cities. Is it those four, eh?
Yeah.
There is only one solution if you ever want to get yourself in the mix, is you're going to have to amalgamate. That's my personal opinion. Would anyone else care to venture an opinion here, or is that topic off bounds?
No. I think all of them there, they all, a number of them see it as a solution.
Do they?
They also, they see problems in it which they should overcome once they are in there.
Elsie's Rafir. Elsie's now one of the top performing clubs in Western Province. And when I say that, yes, I know I'm probably going to get one or two people out there saying, how can you say it's the top performing club? Like we had criticism about the best coach. We had to explain that as well. Well, in our books, Elsie's is one of the top performing clubs due to the fact that they attract the players and the fans and the volunteers make a big effort there. So Elsie's River United, they used to be split of various clubs as well. If I'm not mistaken, was it Excelsior? Or
Excelsior was one, and the other one.
Well, there are a couple of teams.
Melton's.
Well, that's right, yes.
That's right.
Now, we spoke about some of this. But if they didn't amalgamate, and it took them a bit of time, obviously, to get over that. This was before my time. Mr. H, you might be able to tell us more about that. But, I mean, it was before unification, if they didn't amalgamate, they might still have been in a sort of a weaker position, and now they're doing fantastic.
Look, I think I want to agree with Mr. H that it's an option that those four clubs need to look at this particular point in time. They're all fighting to survive, lying at the bottom of their division, and I think that with the history and proud history of the City Park community, that they owe it to Athlone and City Park to get a strong club out of there. And if it means that the four clubs need to amalgamate, as you say, then I think it's an option they seriously need to look at, because, as I said, Athlone needs a strong club.
Of course, it's one of those kind of things that's clearly a sensitive issue, and you don't get stuck into it too much. It's kind of, they have to sort of work it out for themselves, Mr. H.
Yeah, you see, we all talk about the history, and history. That place is the history. But if we don't do something, the history will all be lost.
Yeah.
All be gone, because there will be no rugby anymore.
I'll tell you who is making history again, or should we put it that way, is Police. Police is back in the picture, and they had a good result over the weekend. They beat Young Brothers 15 points to 10. And they are looking at bigger things, and I think they're going to remake their history.
Absolutely, JP. Club 90, as we call them.
Club 90?
Yeah, because they're the youngest club in the union. Certainly showing the other clubs, if you have good structures and if you have ambition, that you can get out there. And I think they want to be Club 45 in the new competition.
Can they be?
Within a year or two.
Oh, within a year or two.
Yeah.
In terms of the new competition structure, it'll definitely come out of the top sort of 60, am I right? Or do we know?
We're still doing the final
mathematics, so to speak.
Mathematics on the thing. I have spoken to the chairperson of the rugby committee, Pete Jooste. He will come on your show and explain the whole format around the new competition. So
But I
I
mean,
wouldn't want to go into it
Yeah,
now.
but for a team like Police who are in Division 4, no matter no matter how good they are right now, it's highly unlikely they're not going to get into one of the Premier League. It's going to, like you say, it's going to take 2 or 3 years.
Correct. As the league is structured now,
Yeah.
it's going to take them a number of years to get out there. So if all goes well, you will see that within the next few years, a number of clubs that has ambition can actually become a top performing club in less than half the time than what it is at present.
Yeah. All right, folks, it is time for us to take an ad break. Remember, you can find us on Facebook. Take a Facebook break during the break. www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Find us on Facebook and give us your thoughts on what you think is happening in the world of club rugby. We love to hear from you, and then, of course, spread the word on the show. We'll be back with you guys in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Club Rugby Logs. Let's take a quick look at the logs in Western Province Rugby. Super League A it is, of course, where we start off. FNB Marties are still on top in Super League A. Marties are 53 points, Durbell on 53 points. Both those sides have got 11 wins under the belt, but Durbell, they've got 2 games in hand. Morgs, let's go to you on that one. There, Durbell, Hammies, and Durbell and Hammies have now got 2 games in hand. So Marties, and behind them, UCT, 2 games in hand. At least the other way around, put it this way. Durbell and Hammies have both played 14 games. So now, Marties have got 2 games in hand, UCT have got 2 games in hand. Do you think Durbell and Hammies are a little bit nervous here?
Yeah, look, I think the big thing with Durbell and Hammies is, it's, of course, as much as they want to win the league, I think going to Community Cup is quite important for them. So they'll be watching each other more than they'll really be watching, the 2 varsity sides. So even though Stellenbosch have 2 games in hand, they still got to play Hamilton, and they got to play Durbanville. So they lose both those games, and then they lose their games in hand. So yeah, it's going to be interesting going down to the tail end of the season. But yeah, it's gonna.
Before we go too far down the tail end of the season, Hamilton's took the tail end of the stick against UCT last week as a Wednesday game. Bitterly cold, storming, rainy, just about every other kind of thing that you would throw out there in terms of the weather. After 12 minutes, UCT had already put 3 tries on top of Hamilton's. What on earth was going on there?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think we were just fast asleep. In the cold, it took us a long time to warm up, I think. So now we started very, very slowly. But in the end, we lost 25-13. So yeah, not a good result for Hamilton's.
I've got to ask, you were the one of the few people who scored a try in that game. Just tell us about that try. What happened?
No, well, look, while everyone else's back was turned,
what do you mean they were back? You're going to break it down for us now. What do you mean their back was turned?
No, well, there was a little bit of a scuffle, and everyone was having a go at the ref.
So it was a stop. Well, the ref stopped the game?
No, he didn't stop the game. The guys just started having a little bit of a scuffle. I saw the ball lying loose, so I went to the ref, and it was a penalty to Hamilton's, and it was under the pole. So while everyone decided to have a go at each other, I decided to take the ball and score under the poles.
He was scallop, JP.
But I think we saw Nice Botha do that a few years back, and he caught the Australian or the All Blacks. They were all waiting behind the poles for him to take a kick, and he just picked the ball up and ran to the side. I mean, would Danny, when you say that's intelligent rugby?
No, in our community, you say scallop, you play it by the rules, and I suppose he played it by the rules and Morgan, but you always want to give the opposition at least an opportunity.
But they had an opportunity. They took the opportunity to go cause nonsense.
Well, they probably questioned the referee at the wrong time. So Morgan saw the opportunity that. Now, knowing Morgan, obviously he'll do that first,
Yeah.
It didn't help though.
Was that a question of composure? I mean, that you were looking around thinking, guys, I've played in really big matches compared to this. While you guys are playing kiddies games on the side, I'm just going to go put some points on quickly. We need it badly.
Yeah, look, I think composure is a big word that we're using at Hamilton's at the moment. I think we're lacking a bit of it, but yeah, I mean, look, it comes with what you want to call it, experience, if you want to call it that. So yeah, just the cool heads, and when everyone else is busy with the side shows, and you got to keep your head focused on what's happening on the game.
There's an old story, and I think a lot of rugby players can actually learn this. Is that it's not the game isn't over until the fat lady sings, and that's one thing that the rugby players can take maybe out of the fight game book, if you want to call it the fight game, You don't turn your back on your opponent until you're in your own corners.
No, JP, that's not the fight book. It's Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee, was that
Enter the Dragon.
Bruce Lee?
Never take your eyes off your opponent.
Oh my word, we've got a Bruce Lee fan. I see one of our next Cape Rugby TV t-shirts is going to be Danny Jones in a Bruce Lee outfit.
One of my childhood heroes.
Enter the Danny. You guys like that? Enter the Danny. Or enter. All right then. Okay, let's just stay on Super League A here a little bit, gentlemen. Marties and UCT. For them, it's about. Yeah, and maybe they're not too. A lot of clubs though, they're not too worried about how they can do this year because next year is going to be a new format. They're guaranteed to play in a position. For Durbanville and Hamilton's, we had this conversation before. They're not really worried about winning the league because the format's going to change, and next year they want to play in the Community Cup. So for Durbanville and Hamilton's, the big fight here is not to win the league, but to make sure they get in the Community Cup. Are we losing any of the essence or the value of league at Western Province Rugby, Mr. H?
No, because they must win in the league to go to the Community Cup. So
yes, but what I mean is that they don't mind if they come third, as long as they're behind the universities.
Yeah, but you can't not mind. You need to win all your games to be on top of the other.
Oh,
one.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just lower down. There's also a fight going on there.
No, what do you mean? There's no fights lower down?
Yes.
Struggles maybe?
No, but there's a big fight because the Saru always takes a wild card out of
so
the.
who are our possible wild card candidates there to go to the Community Cup? SK Warmers is out of the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
one
they
of the
are.
previous year.
So it's Tygerberg, Belleville, Belhar. They won't take Helderberg because Helderberg's not going to be seen as a previously disadvantaged club. At which stage are you a previously disadvantaged club? Anyone?
Well,
Anyone help me with
No,
that?
it comes with your history.
yeah.
Right. So would you say it comes with your history?
Yeah.
So would you say Solarians is a previously disadvantaged club?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter how much money you got.
It doesn't matter how much money you
I
got
mean,
now.
SK Warmers was a previously disadvantaged club. They still, last year they were still seen as that.
And right now, SK Women's got very fancy field and a stadium and lights. So how long do you stay a previously disadvantaged club?
Well, that's a question that the
Look, I
powers that be must
Powers
answer.
that be, Danny?
Look, I think that for now it's still appropriate because there's still a number of, inequality still exists
Yeah.
in our society. But I agree with you, JP, that there needs to be a cut-off point because surely 20 years into a democracy or so gives you an opportunity at least to improve. So yeah, you shouldn't say previously disadvantaged for the rest of your life because that in itself becomes a disadvantage
So
and
You
the
know,
elephant on your back.
I mean, what I would have liked to see is, if it's a wild card or if it's Community Cup, why not choose someone that's previously disadvantaged from Premier League A or Premier League B?
No,
Do they have to be amazing rugby players and previously disadvantaged?
I think if you look at the Community Cup competition, there are obviously 14 winners
Yeah.
because there's a winner in every union, So obviously by that, by default, it's there for merit. And so
Except for the wild card.
And so the wild card brings the issue of representativity
Yeah.
in focus, so that because if it's about having the resources, having money, having players to get out there. And as Mr. H says, every game is important. So I don't see that being the one good thing about being a wild card, it gives you an opportunity also to play, even though you're struggling at the bottom of the food chain. But you have an opportunity to play for something. And I don't think Hamilton's, if I know Dave and Maurice as well as Jan, they're not giving up, or Cassie of Durbel, they're not giving up the competition just to play third, to come third.
Yeah.
They want to win this thing, lock, stock and barrel.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate for them they took a few knocks, but they want to beat Marties, they want to beat UCT, they want to be the top dog in Western Province, there's no doubt about it.
Well,
Yeah, I think if you know, a lot of the viewers probably will, you could like it very much to the English Premier League and the FA Cup. I mean, everybody wants to win the league. That's first prize. But if you can't win the league, but you can still win the FA Cup, you'll take that. And I think with the mindset that Hamilton's and Durban have is, first prize, you want to win the league. You want to beat Stellenbosch, you want to beat all universities, you want to be the best club in the Western Cape, period. If that doesn't happen, you'll take second prize, and second prize at this stage of the game is the Community Cup, where you get to play that before the league starts. It's good preparation for the league, and 10-1, if you have good depth, that you can take that momentum into the league, and you can take on the teams like Stellenbosch and UCT, who come into the league with momentum from Varsity Cup.
I mean, one of the things that I've picked up from speaking to the clubs outside of Super League A and Super League B and downwards is that they are, even though you say that the final sort of mathematics has to be done for the new format, these guys are already in the lower leagues playing to make it into the top 15. I mean, you make no mistake, that 7 or 8 in Super League B who potentially stand a chance, so we say top 6 in Super League B, they want to make sure, even though we don't have a confirmation yet, they want to make sure that they're in the top 15. And then in Premier League A, if you look, Silurians all the way down to Peniel Villages, for example, even though it's not being confirmed yet, they all want to make it into the other leg of, what would you call it? You're calling it maybe Premier Leagues, Division 1 or Division 2s, but a Pool 1 maybe. Pool, would it be a pool? Anyway,
I'm not too sure yet, JP, because we're still dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
But the point that I'm making is...
But I think that you're onto something there. I think everybody wants to win, so that whatever happens, how the league is structured, etc., that they would be at advantage.
Yeah.
You know, nobody wants to play, and in the end find out that they haven't succeeded into whichever division, into a higher division. So there's a lot of competition.
So it's extremely important. I mean, it is extremely important in this case that, you're not sitting as a club down in a league and going, okay, well, we're not going to win the league, so it doesn't matter if we're number 10 to 9. You want to make sure, like, every point counts at this point. Yeah. So now you're not giving up on the season at all at the moment.
Look, JP, I want to use a school analogy. In Western Province, we can't deny that we're one of the top provinces at schoolboy level in the world. I'm not even saying in South Africa, because we are. But we don't play for trophies, we don't play for cups, we don't play for log points. Morgan would tell you, he comes from Bishop's, that every game is important. The team you play on the Saturday, you want to win, and they have the same intensity.
Yeah.
And so it's not about winning competitions, but winning on the day. And then obviously, the aggregate of winning on the day makes you obviously at the end of the season whether you were successful or not. And I think that's something good to go by.
Yeah. Talking about schoolboy rugby, there was some good schoolboy rugby at City Park on Friday stage?
Yes, it was quite exciting. And the South African school side, I think they played exceptionally well to keep a massive English side at bay.
They're big?
They're big. I couldn't believe that those boys could be 17 years old. They're massive. And it was fantastic to see, and even the Western Province sides that played there against Italy and Montpellier, they did exceptionally well. Western Province school sides they're really good.
How are we doing? Yeah, Danny, you're still very involved with schools rugby. How's Western Province schools rugby doing?
Very good, JP. We were blessed with a wonderful year. Out of 27 games, that's 9 tournaments, we won 26. We won the under-13 Craven Week, we won the under-16 Grand Cormo Week, we won the under-18 Craven Week, we won the girls under-16 under-15 week, 15-man week or 15 women week, and we won the under-18 sevens, as well as the under-12 Sasselberg we won. So it was an exceptional year for us. And both the under-13s, the under-16s, Grand Cormo team, and the under-18s, we beat the Bulls.
Yeah.
And you always measure yourself against the Bulls, because they're also very competitive. And so, we done well. The captain of the SA Schools team, Rikus Botma, comes from Western Province. We had 7 players first in the South African Schools team. I think 2 had to withdraw because of injuries. And as Mr. H said,
he's a front ranker, right?
It's the lock. It's the lock.
He captained the boys high or the Paul Jim side.
Paul Jim. And as well as the hooker, Daniel Du Plessis.
Yeah.
And then obviously Michael Du Plessis' son Daniel. He is the inside center in the SA Schools team.
Really? Is that Carl's nephew?
Carl's nephew.
Can you believe that?
But I must say that that boy is exceptional. The other guy that did well for us was Grant Hermanus. He was the top kicker at the Cravenwick. He's the right wing for South African schools as well as Western Province schools.
Fantastic stuff. Right, folks, if you want to win for yourself a Cape Rugby TV t-shirt and a Lexar flash drive, you can enter the Spot the Ball competition. Weekly, we have the Spot the Ball competition. As you know, you can find it on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Right, let's take a look at the Spot the Ball competition. We'll give our panel an opportunity to have a look as well. You see it there on the screen. A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3, C1, C2, and C3. Right, Morgs, we're not going to ask you to have a guess at that. Danny, would you like to give it a go?
I would say B3.
B3, Mr. H?
A1.
A1. And of course, well, where would I go with that one? I can't tell you because I already know the answer. Right, folks, as I said, you can find that on Facebook, the Spot the Ball competition. Jump in there. You win for yourself the Cape Rugby TV t-shirt. As you know, it is up for grabs weekly, Cape Rugby TV t-shirt, together with a Lexar flash drive. Let's quickly take a look at the other logs then. In Super League B, we see False Bay on top there against UWC, and Primrose and Kelsriver following after that. In Premier League A, Solarians Collegians. Premier League B, Milnerton Young People's Franschhoek. Division 1 is Violets Silver Leaf and Lagunya. While in Division 2 is Masiphumelele, All Saints Caledonian Roses. In Division 3, Strand Pioneers Retreat and Young Ideas. Division 4 is Bishop Levis Khayelitsha Police. In the Paarl region, Paul Vineyards, and in the Simonsburger region, Lamott Fora and Pumas. Time for us to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the fixtures. As of course, your Evox competition coming up in a mo. www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Keep your cell phones handy, and the number to SMS is 33280. Back with you in a sec. Welcome back to Cape Rugby TV, everybody. Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, and tell your friends, make sure they're all out there. And go and join a rugby club. Go and play rugby. Get fit, get healthy, join the community, and share it with your friends. All right, Evox Advanced Nutrition is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. It gets them through the matches, and it gets them from one session to the next session. If you want to win yourself a Synergy Whey Protein, courtesy of Evox Advanced Nutrition, well, 33280. There we go. It's so heavy. It's so big. Synergy Whey Protein, 2.5 kilos or 2.2 kilos. All right, 33280. And what's more, for your club, we will throw in for you a water bottle tray filled with water bottles. All right. So, Synergy Whey Protein, as well as a tray that you can give to your team. It does look funny, as we said before, when you walk around in the gym or the shopping center alone with the water bottle tray. So give it to the team, let them run onto the field with it. 33280, there you can see it on the screen right now. Who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers? And tell us what is their favorite product. SMS your name and answer to 33280. Right, on 16th of August at the Hamilton's Rugby Club, the Jack Hamilton Lounge, or Appleton Lounge, there will be a Springbok memorabilia auction from 7 o'clock to 7:30. Dress is smart casual. And you can contact the director of rugby there, Campbell McCraw. And remember, folks, that this is money that is going to a good cause. Mr. H, you want to tell us a little bit more about this auction? Where's this money going? That we can make sure that this isn't a commercial venture.
I think Campbell and Mark Fletcher, the two guys there at the Atlantic Academy, and they are doing a good job there with children all from Easterplaat and Brooklyn and places like that.
So this is, let me get this straight now, this is the Atlantic Academy,
yeah,
and it's driven by Hamiltons.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, they're just hiring the Hamilton
facility.
So
yeah,
they're just hiring the facility.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the Atlantic
they
Academy.
They operate at Jan van Riebeeck School,
Right.
they're in Upper Cape Town, and they sort of bring kids along, you know, that around that area that where the schools are not playing rugby.
Right.
So they have a number of teams up to from under 7 right up to under 19, and they are sending an under 13 squad of players to France to take part in the competition there. But it's also to give the kids from the previously disadvantaged community a chance.
From the wildcard areas.
Yeah, to go over to to visit.
Okay, so this is for a good cause.
That's a good
it's for
cause,
kids
yeah.
who ordinarily would not have the opportunity, and the funds
Absolutely.
that being raised is to help them
Yeah,
send them
so
over.
they-
Danny, you know the Atlantic Academy?
I don't know much of it, but I do know they exist. I just want to tell Mr. H to inform them that they need to apply to Western Province, who would apply to SARO to give them clearance to play in France, because
Yeah.
if that doesn't happen, they won't be able to play.
No, I think they've done
Okay.
that last year.
All right, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that they will get their paperwork in order. Otherwise, they won't be traveling to
I'm
France.
so glad to hear Campbell McCall still around. I thought he...
No, no.
Right, before the show degrades into a reminiscing of old timers, talking about who was around in the good days of rugby, Danny, you and Mr. H, I'm going to let you guys have that conversation a little bit after the show,
Yeah.
because I'm sure you can talk a lot about old stories.
Yes, especially.
Can Danny a paar stories, Mr. H?
Yeah, oh man, I'm here before my time.
Danny, do you think we should get the old fire out one of these days and a whole bunch of rugby
You
fans?
know, Mr. H said in the beginning of the show, you said he's the godfather. I think he's the grandfather, you know.
Who is the biggest storyteller? Who tells the best stories in Western Province rugby?
I think the president
Yes,
is not
I
far
want
off.
to. I want to agree with. I want to agree with Herman. He tells a very good story, and he knows a number of stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we get together a little braaivleis, Cape Rugby TV braaivleis night, we'd have to come up with a few names. So the
We know
president
who's
would
going to do the bride.
the Brian would have to be.
Ends in April.
Okay, we know who's going to do the newsletters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so there's a number of opportunities there for us to really put together a lekker rugby braai geselsie. Okay, so fixtures coming up over the weekend in Super League A. And it's Hamilton's up against Marty. It's UCT take on Helderberg, Vic's take on Belleville and Durban, while in Super League B, Hamilton, NK, Primrose Villages, Kales River and False Bay, UWC, Goodwood, Brackenfell and Hands and Hearts. Premier League A sees Peniel Villages and St George's, Paul Macassar, LC Scottsdene and Silurians and Rangers. While in Premier League B, it's Young People's Eerste Rivier, Silvertree, Manenberg Rangers, Milton, Van der Stel, Strand and Strand United. Now folks, of course on this weekend we'll be going out to Milnerton to support Ishmael Dolly and Nolene out there for their Women's Month Rugby Day. We're going to be wearing pink on the day, and we'll make sure that we give them as much support as possible. So that's Milnerton who take on Van der Stel at the Theo Marais Park this coming Saturday. So that's our match pick of the week. We're going to go out there and support the drive against cancer, of course Women's Month as well, and we ask you to come out there and wear pink. And remember, just of course, that on the 16th of August, the Jack Appleton Lounge at the Hamilton Rugby Club, you can get out there and support that rugby memorabilia auction. And I've seen the items. There's some incredible items there to raise funds for the Atlantic Academy, for the kids who are possibly going to travel overseas and go and play in France, kids who ordinarily would not have an opportunity to do so. Otherwise, we will be seeing you at Milnerton at the Theo Marais Park against Van der Stel. That's this Saturday. Otherwise, Strand United are up against Strand at Gastro in Premier League B, while in Division 1 we see Hamatias take on Busy B, Silverleaf Atlantis, Lagunia and Rockland, Stelcor, Wraithby, Northerns and Violets. Division 2 is Masipumulela, All Saints, Caledonian Roses, Blue Jets, Young Stars and Blue Stars. And the Gardens Tech take on Watsonia, while in Division 3, Klutisville and Imikawi, Strand Pioneers, Temperance, Young Ideas, Whistling Wheels, Peninsula, Richmond Rangers, Perseverance and Retreat. While in Division 4, Young Brothers, Bishop Lavis, Thistle Cities, Kalicha Delft, Progress Titans. And in the Paarl region, it's Riverstones and Paarl Rangers, Windmill United and Albions. Paarl United take on Violets in the Simmelsburg region. We see Pumas up against Excelsior, Blue Swallows, Lewandley, Languedoc Blue Stars, Fora and Lamotte. 33280 is the number that you want to SMS. One night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. All right, there you can see on the screen. SMS the word leisure and your name to 33280, and you put yourself in the mix to win a night's accommodation, bed and breakfast at the Strand Towers. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the results in the Currie Cup, and we'll also touch a little bit more on what's happening in the world of club rugby. Remember, find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Back in a sec. Currie Cup over the weekend saw some interesting results. Western Province drawing with the Bulls at Newlands 24-all. The Lions, well, 1 point win for at least loss for them against the Cheetahs and the Sharks, going down to Griquas 32 points to 30. Danny, you were on the side of the field. Western Province against the Bulls. We just let it slip there. We had them. We had them on the ropes.
Well, the weekend's results prove that the Currie Cup is not an easy competition. All teams were competitive. The Lions just won the Free State just beat the Lions. The shock of the week, Griquas against Natal. And then, of course, Mone du Plessis kissing my sister, a draw between Western Province and the Blue Bulls. But I always say this, JP, that you can never underestimate any Western Province Blue Bulls match. The players are there, when they put on those jerseys and they run on the field, they give it their all. So I think that...
Do you think that's still seen as the ultimate match? A match up in terms of derbies? It's Western Province against Northern Transvaal, so to speak.
Definitely. That's why I mentioned the fact that at the schoolboy level that we beat the Bulls at all levels this year. So yes, it's still there, definitely. And the North-South rivalry.
Quite a big crowd at Newlands on the day.
We had the biggest crowd in the country, which shows you that the Cape Town and the Cape Townians, they love their rugby.
And they love it when Western Province play against the Bulls.
Definitely.
Well, you played against the Bulls quite a number of times when you were playing for Western Province. Of course, when you played for the Blue Bulls, that is, and I mean, you played against the Bulls when you played for the Stormers. Is there a difference between one game and the other game when you put on the blue and white hoops and you know that you're playing against the Northern Blue Bulls?
Yeah, there's always that little bit, the changing is always a little bit quieter, when you're playing against the Bulls, I think, and
really?
Unfortunately I got injured in the one game, so I don't have too good memories of it, but yeah, I mean, look, it's one of those games, like Mr. Jones says, it's the North-South derby, and it's the kind of things you live for as a rugby player, it's those tough physical battles, and like I say, it's one of the games where the changing rooms are very, very quiet, and there's that eerie little feeling before you run in the field, knowing that you're about to run it in front of 45,000 people.
If you look at your Currie Cup career, your Stormers career, what would you say was the best match memory for you?
Yeah, look, if I take it one back, under 21s, I was against the Bulls in the final of the sort of under 21 Currie Cup, which we won, which I was captain of, which was nice. That was a game that stands high in my memory, and then. For bittersweet, I think the one that we lost to in the Currie Cup semi-final, when I did my knee ligaments. But yeah, we lost the game. Everyone blames Sorelli, which is so not really true that they blame Sorelli for the high tackle and Mornay Steyn. But yeah, I mean, look, it was a game that was bittersweet in terms of the fact that I think it's the biggest crowd I've played in front of in terms of at Newlands. I think there was 47,000 people on the day, if I speak under correction. Yeah. So that hangs up there definitely amongst one of my best rugby memories, I think.
Yeah, Danny, you agree?
Definitely, I was his manager when we won the under 21.
How does it feel? Cup. How does it feel when you see a player get injured like Morgan did in the other match? Playing against
it's never nice because players give their all and they expect at least to come off the field, walking. And when these things happen, the first thing goes through your mind is, will he recover? How serious is it? And all those things. But Morgan did recover. And he is playing, and that's the most important thing. But it's never nice seeing a player being carried off the field and on their way to hospital.
Yeah. You didn't take any head knocks during that time, because I know that you partially recovered. I've always had my doubts. They said Morgan got injured. I said, what did he get? Knocked to the head? No, it was his knee. Are you sure? It was his knee. No, it was the head. No, it was his knee for sure. All right, the fixtures coming up in the Currie Cup over the weekend. It's the Sharks against the Golden Lions at Durban, the Blue Bulls and Griquas against playing in Pretoria, and then of course Western Province against the Cheetahs at Newlands. Now the Sharks and the Lions. I know that we said there for a couple of seconds that it was a big surprise that Griquas beat the Sharks, but I wasn't surprised at all. Griquas always come out strong. Mm-hmm. They've had a lot of time to prepare, and they're getting better and better and better. I mean, they really do put the teams to the wire, especially when the teams go play up in Kimberley, where it's that droe bruin gras and it's hard, and the ball is fast, and the tackles are tough. And Mr. H, what did you?
Yeah, look, last year it was the same thing. They started off. They don't have the disruption of the Super Series,
Yeah.
So they prepare and they quietly go in. Whilst the others see everybody playing every Saturday, you hardly hear of them. But they are preparing themselves for this opening Currie Cup game. And they came off last year. Unfortunately, they never made it, to the end.
You think they'll beat the Bulls this weekend?
I doubt it.
They're not going to take the Bulls.
No,
Not at home.
no.
Yeah.
No.
The Lions are up against the Sharks. The Sharks will probably have learnt their lesson over the weekend, Danny, and they're playing
For
at home.
sure.
But the Lions at the moment, they've got their tail up as well. They're playing great rugby after the scenario of the Kings. The one thing that did disappoint me was the crowd at the Lions game over the weekend. It's like almost the crowd just came out to see the Sharks Kings game, which incidentally was the highest attended rugby match of the year. Yeah. So that was an enormous game. But it's almost like the fans came out to see. Let's see if we're back in the mix and then we're out again.
You're on your own now.
You're on your own now. What do you make of that, Dan? Sharks, Lions?
It's going to be a tough game. Both of them lost, so they want to, both of them want to come back with a bang. The Sharks, they certainly were surprised by Griquas. I thought that they must probably thought that they're going to win the game because they still have a good team. But I think Griquas got big odds.
Yeah.
And so they took the opportunity and they played well and they persevered. So I would say this week my money is on the Sharks.
Your money's on the Sharks. And then of course Western Province take on the Cheetahs at Newlands. And by the way, folks, we do have that Cape Rugby TV Currie Cup Super Brew pool up. So come and join us and give us your predictions. We'll get the scores from our panel on that in a second. Western Province take on the Cheetahs. Alistair will be looking to bounce back after the draw against the Bulls. But the Cheetahs don't have a great record at Newlands.
They don't have a great record at Newlands, but I think the similar scenario has been happening to the Cheetahs in terms of they don't have too much disruption when it comes to Super Rugby and Currie Cup. I don't think they lose. Look, this year has been a little bit different because of their performance, but in general, they don't really lose too many players to the Springboks and to sort of overseas and that kind of stuff. So they're a fairly settled unit, and after all the cobwebs out of the way now, after their win against the Lions last week. It's going to be a tough one for Western Province, I think. We are, in terms of experience, sort of a little bit thin at the moment. We did lose quite a few players, but yeah, it's going to be a very good match. It's both teams that like to run the ball, and with the team that Alice has been choosing, last week and this week, I definitely think it's both two sides that definitely want to run the ball and spread it wide. So it's going to be a good spectacle of rugby, irrespective of the result, I think.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen, then it is time for you to give me your Super Brew predictions. The Sharks take on the Lions in Durban. Morgs.
I'll go Sharks by 3.
Danny?
Sharks by 10.
Sharks 6.
Sharks by 6? I don't know. I don't know about this one. The Sharks didn't do too well against Griquas. I'm going to take a wild card in this one, a wild stab. I'm going to go with the Lions by 5. I know that you guys think I'm mad. The Blue Bulls take on Griquas in Pretoria, Morgs.
I think the Griquas will get a rude awakening. I think the Bulls will give them a good 10-point win.
Danny?
Griquas.
Griquas. You're going to go Griquas
Yes,
by...
I think they got momentum.
Yeah.
The Bulls, yes, they do have a young team, and those players play for the jersey. But I think the Griquas are certainly going to show up on when they play the Bulls, and so I reckon Griquas by 3.
The stage?
Bulls by 9.
Bulls by 9. I'm going to go with the Griquas by 3. I think I'm going to go with that call.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a
look
good
at
call.
this. And then, of course, Western Province take on the Cheetahs at Newlands, Morgs.
High scoring game, but I'm going to give it to Western Province by 3.
Danny?
Western Province by 15.
The stage?
Western Province by 8.
Western Province by 8. I'm going to go with the Western Province. I was going to say Western Province by 15, but I don't want to make it look like I'm copying you, so I'm going to say Western Province by 16. I think that's going to be a good result. Right, folks, remember you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. That's where it is all happening, all the social media. And remember, follow that Twitter hashtag on the weekends, #WP Club Rugby, and keep sharing the content, all right? Because on the weekend, then we can all watch the scores. We are this weekend then up at Macassar, at least not Macassar, Monaghan. Monaghan take on Van der Stel It is Women's Month, and we are supporting Nalin Oosthuizen and Ishmael Daliali's team as in their fight against cancer and the awareness for cancer. So yes, get down and come and support the Milnerton side and wear pink, all right? Because we're going to be there on the day wearing pink. So it's going to be a very interesting match. And then just finally again, the Hamilton's Rugby Club are hosting the Jack Appleton at the Jack Appleton Lounge in Hamilton, Hamilton's Rugby Club at least, the Springbok memorabilia auction in favour of the Atlantic Academy. The tickets there are only 50 Rand. That includes snacks, and there's going to be a cash bar, and they're going to have some great Springbok memorabilia up for grabs. So make sure that you get down there and support them on the 16th of August. All right, the 16th. When's the 16th of August, folks? That would of course be
Friday.
Is it Friday? Friday night? Okay, so Friday night at 7 o'clock, and get down there to go and watch, or at least not watch, but support that auction. Morgs, you guys got a tough game this weekend.
Yeah, I was about to say, if there's a hangover from the auction, then they can stick around for the Hamilton's the Martins game. So yeah, it's a tough one. We look forward to it.
Is it a Friday night game for you guys?
No, it's a Saturday. It's a Saturday afternoon game.
Hamilton's Marties. Eh?
Hamilton's Martins. It's a big one for us, and it's one we look forward to for the all season.
Any other picks of the week there, Mr. H? What would you say? Anything that jumps out for you?
That, we know that the matches will start half an hour earlier because
of course, everything kicks off at 3:30 on Saturday.
So that's important. And I think there's quite a few. Now every match becomes so important for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't want to go lower down on the log, and you're trying everything to just gain one or two more, positions.
Yeah.
So every game is tough. And now also, it is so important that the discipline be kept.
Yeah.
Because now Rakos was koppa uit.
Yeah, of course, get that feeling of the end of the season and nothing matters anymore. Well, folks, you're going to have to think twice about that. Now, rugby is very serious. All right, no more red cards are going to be tolerated. Yellow cards are going to be frowned upon. Violence on the field will not be tolerated at all. Any club that's guilty of violence is going to be dealt with very severely by the union. If your fans are fighting, you're going to get dealt with severely by the union. If you've got too many yellow cards, you'll probably not end up being a coach at that team. So they come rond and bond, lots of trouble for you if you can't behave yourself on the field or in the social space. And of course, fans misbehave. Well, the clubs get deducted points. You might end up losing sponsorships. More on that in our forthcoming shows. That's a wrap from us this weekend, at least this evening. Morgs, have yourself a lovely rugby weekend.
Thanks, Japes. You too.
Danny Jones, Mr. Jones, nice to have you here as always.
Pleasure, JP. I just need to say also that the Western Province girls team or ladies team will be playing SVD in Oudtshoorn on Saturday. And see that at this Women's Month. We wish them well, and Western Province should win.
Mr. H.
I'll wear pink on Saturday.
Pink on Saturday? Pink. You love pink. All right, it's pink on Saturday at Milnerton. Come and join us. That's a wrap from us. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye.